Warning, this podcast contains babies.
Adorable.
My brain. My brain.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for the Vampire Diaries Season 7, Episode 6, Best Served Cold. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Kim.
Hi.
And my co-host, Mike.
Hi.
How's it going?
Blah.
She sums it up lovely.
Yeah, so what did you guys think of this episode? Bleh.
Yeah, that's pretty much how that went.
Oh.
It had its ups. It had its ups. It had its downs. It had its what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
That I literally was speechless. It's probably from the beginning.
From the beginning, you mean...
The beginning?
You mean
okay.
Alaric's fiance?
Yeah, our flash forward. What the fuck? Alaric and Caroline? What?
Considering, wasn't Alaric originally a teacher in the high school that Caroline was attending?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So he's engaged to a student of his. Former student. But technically she was turned to a vampire at the age of, what, 17, 18?
Yes.
Perpetual 18-year-old?
I guess.
Yes. Forever 18.
Unless
That was 7 years ago, though.
True.
And he's been a vampire and dead and human.
He's been dead for like 3 years.
He's been stuffed.
They're a little closer in age now because he's been dead for 3 years.
Because he's been dead.
Pretty sure you don't age when you're dead.
No. He was also a vampire for a little while, remember?
Yeah. So he's been... That counts as being dead, too. So he's been dead for about 3.5 years. So... They're closer in age. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how old Alaric is supposed to be.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna look up
Oh,
the
really
actual chapter.
I'm already doing it.
No, no. No, I'm gonna do it first.
Who's gonna get the information first? Go.
The character Alaric Saltzman was born on February 4th, 1976.
76. And Caroline, how old is... She's played by... Candace.
Oh no, this is the character.
No, I know, but I'm curious how old the two actors are. So she's 28, and how old is Matt?
You mean Alaric?
Well, yeah, his name.
Yeah, but his real name is...
His name's Matt Davis. He's 37. So 28 and 37. They're like 9 years apart.
That's not that bad.
No.
No, it's not.
So that's... Well, yeah. So
he was 31 when he went to teach for them. I mean, not completely canon, but in my head canon, they're I'm going by the actor's age. And so technically, they're like 6 years apart now. Because Alaric dying.
Being dead.
Yeah, because of Alaric dying. Yeah, so it's okay. I mean, there's people out there that have bigger gaps than 10 years anyway. So
Yes.
Yeah.
The average marrying age, at least last time that it was 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
My oh my.
So, yeah, I'm still a little shocked, though.
I mean, it was...
After Bonnie last week, and now this week.
I know.
Like, I was trying to figure out, before I was trying to figure out, okay, how did that work with Bonnie? Like, how did that play out? Then, so then I'm watching this episode, and I go, what? How? I don't even, my brain didn't even comprehend how that would have fall into place. But I think towards the end, it starts to make somewhat more sense.
Yeah, kind of. So, at the end of the episode, we find out that Valerie was watching the wedding tape, of Alaric, and she started listening to the chants that the Gemini Coven was doing, and they realized that that was not a prison spell, that it was a translocation spell, and they moved Joe and Alaric's twins somewhere else.
To protect the twins, the line or whatever.
Yeah,
because that's their thing.
to keep the Gemini Coven alive.
The twins.
Yeah, so, and we find out that they are now in Caroline, which is just like...
Which is kind of interesting. It explains the fiancé thing, but it also doesn't explain a hell of a lot more things.
Well, yeah, it's going to explain how they got so close. Like, all that time in the 3 years. It takes 3 years, whatever. That, that it's not... They're... I mean, we don't know for sure how long, the baby is going to stay in Caroline, the babies.
Well,
I'm assuming
it explains
stuff. I'm assuming it's not going to be 3 years in the womb.
No,
No.
and it explains how they're going to deal with Candace King's rapidly approaching baby bump.
Yes, because she is pregnant. So that seems like this was completely written into the story, knowing that she was going to be pregnant, and vampires are not supposed to be able to be pregnant. So it's a good,
They thought
very,
that
very good. Yeah, it's a very good cover.
Much
cover.
easier than trying to just hide, the baby bump.
Yeah.
Most excellent cover.
Still,
We need to get off this topic because I'm going to be sitting here still paralyzed by the surprise.
Yeah, well, after everything that Alaric had to endure, though, this episode, he finally got to say goodbye to Joe, even though it wasn't Joe, it was Florence?
Florence.
Yeah.
Florence was the vampire's name, yeah.
Yeah.
That was this. I cried. I cried. It was
You
sad.
cried for Florence? We don't even
The
know
whole-
her.
No, the whole scene. Lark has been through so much crap.
It also
So,
eliminates.
Alaric had his first wife run off, right? She
Correct.
She ran away. Then he found her. Then she died.
She's a vampire.
She was a vampire. Then she died because it was also Elena's mother,
Yes.
right? So that was already weird, in itself. Then he started dating Jenna.
Right.
Who
which
Klaus
was-
conveniently murdered.
Right, but that was
Elena's.
Elena. I couldn't think of Elena's
Elena's-
name. She's been gone for
Elena's-
so long. I totally forgot.
Elena's
her name.
aunt. Yeah,
Yeah, it
Elena's
was
aunt.
Elena's aunt, so he couldn't get away from Elena's family. So then she died, and then Alaric was turned into original, and then he died, and then he came back, and then he found Joe, and then Joe died, and then he brings Joe back, and then it's not Joe, and then he ends up with Elena's best friend, or second best friend, or one of her best friends.
One of her best friends, yeah.
So he really just can't get away from Elena.
You really can't.
Yeah, it's messed up.
That
Well, he
is
kind of
messed
played
up.
her adopted dad kind of
Yeah.
father figure for a
Yeah,
while.
he was Elena's adopted father for a little bit too. So that was really, really weird because David Anders couldn't be there for her anymore.
Very true.
Really wasn't there at all in the first place, but
I just had to mention David Anders because he can't get away from him.
ever.
He's moved on.
He went from being a character on the Vampire Diaries to being a zombie now. So.
Oh, now he's a zombie. He went from Vampire Diaries to being Frankenstein, and now he's a zombie.
That's true.
Yeah,
He is that. So. Anyway, Julian.
Who reminds me a lot of Claus.
Claus.
Santa Claus?
Claus, apparently. Words, I can't talk.
Yes, he reminds me of Santa Claus as well. He's very
Yeah.
giving.
He seems very jolly,
Yes, he wants
at
nothing.
least at first.
He wants nothing in return. He just wants to give everything. It's nothing like Santa Claus. What are you smoking, B?
That's not what I was trying to say.
Oh,
I just like that Julian went ragey in front of Lily, and maybe she'll finally
Klaus.
realize that, huh?
Klaus. Reminds me of Klaus.
Yes, we know. We got that. We're
Yeah,
not dumb.
Fuck you. I know.
We knew what
But
you meant.
I needed to say it. I
did-
needed to say
We
it.
knew what you meant. We just wanted
We
to
are
drag
capable
it.
of implying.
We wanted to drag it as far away from where you were going as possible.
Like your face.
But yeah, but it's not only that. It was with what was the girl? I can't think of her name now. There's too many of these new
Nora, Mary Louise,
Mary
Valerie.
Louise, right? Mary or Nora. Which is the one that's like is having trouble fitting in? Is that
Mary Louise, the blonde one.
yeah? She's Julian's like, "Oh, we'll do this," and she'll never know. It's like, Julian, what are you doing? You're trying to stir the pot.
Yeah, he's very easily manipulated. Whatever.
He's very manipulative.
There's the words.
It's just like Lily, said no feeding on the guests, and he's just like, "Yeah, have a banquet."
Yeah, exactly. Or he goes up to Bo, like, Bo, my memory is a little fuzzy, and our dearly departed Oscar had an item of mine. Could you see if it's in his automobile?
So yeah, this item. What is this item?
What is it?
Probably talking about the Phoenix Stone, honestly.
I don't think so.
I don't think so because
They have the
because
Phoenix.
they
Oh,
had
yeah,
it
they
to
do.
bring-
You're
to
right.
bring him
You're right.
back.
Hmm.
So I'm curious now.
I too am curious.
I
It's
was
not like Bo
originally
could say
thinking the
anything.
Phoenix Stone, and then when I was like, wait, but Lily had that, and they all chanted and brought him back. It's just like it wasn't on Oscar. He would know that, so there's got to be something else. And there's some side effects going on to even with him with the Phoenix Stone because like he's getting all these hot flashes and these sweats. Something's not right with him.
Right.
So it's
Well,
not
always-
just Florence and Joe, having the vampire soul trapped in a human body that's not meshing. There's something else going on here that's not really meshing either, and we saw it even so with Oscar, right? Even though it wasn't the correct soul that was in the body, there was still something wrong with it. Like they perpetually hungry.
Yeah, that's one of the side effects.
But in this case, we have the right soul and the right body. But like you said, he was in prison for what 300, 400 years, 300 years.
No, it was only 100 years,
Yeah.
but as he said,
Oh, I
time
thought it was-
had no meaning.
Right.
Oh, he
But
didn't sound like it was
it still
longer.
seems like there's maybe not as drastic as the other two, but it still seems like there's some kind of side effect. So maybe whatever he's looking for is kind of like a, I don't know, some kind of like travel sickness kind of cure.
I mean,
But
I
also-
don't really know what else to call it.
Remember, he was wanting to go to England really, really, really badly
Mm-hmm.
because he needed to do something. I wonder if this has something to do with that.
like he really, really needed to do something, and he did something, and right after he did that thing, he got killed and thrown into the Phoenix Zone. Like, he's like, haha, I have received this item of power. Oh no, I am vanquished. Like, immediately, that quickly.
Now, remember, he had that cross symbol on his chest,
Yeah.
the same one that keeps popping up.
And I meant to mention that now that we know that Florence's, Joe body is going bye-bye, that shoots down our whole theory that Joe turns into some rogue vampire hunter psychopath.
Yep.
So I have
This is-
amended my theory, and that it's Jeremy. They bring him back.
It's a female.
That was clearly a female.
They bring Jeremy back.
In Elena's body.
I'm like, wait, Jeremy's alive.
I honestly don't.
What kind of crazy
Oh.
twist would that be if Nino Dobrev actually was still on the show?
But it
Like-
wasn't Elena, because Elena's body's in the coffin. It
Yeah.
was
It's just-
Catherine.
It's Catherine. It'd
It
be
could be
great to
Catherine.
get Catherine back.
Like she just comes back and is another. So she's still on the show technically.
Because I
she's
mean, the
just
last we
going-
saw of
taking
Catherine, she
sabbatical.
got dragged into what we supposed was hell,
Like,
to never be
hell.
seen from again.
Void, purgatory,
Maybe,
limbo,
yeah.
you name it. Yeah, some empty darkness.
Yeah. So I mean, Nina's been talking about how she's gonna be doing all these other projects, and everybody's gonna be really happy with what she's doing. And I haven't heard of any projects that she's attached to, not a one. So I don't know if that kind of blew up in her face, where she just figured that she was, maybe a little bit bigger than she realized, and people were gonna be like knocking the door over trying to get to her. But I haven't seen her in anything. Maybe I just wasn't looking. But
Well, we can go look at that up too.
I feel like that's something that that would have showed up already. You know, it would have been kind of big news that she's in this or she's in that. So.
In stuff.
Yeah, I mean she's in a movie, The Final Girls, which is she played character Vicky Summers, but that's it. That's the only thing she's even listed in. She's been nothing else on TV since her, her role on Vampire Diaries. She lent a voice back in 2011 for Family Guy, and then her one-off appearance as Tatya in the originals. But she hasn't been on anything since then. And Final Girls, as far as I know, was filmed before she even left. It was released October 9th. But it was debuted September 19th at the Toronto International Film Festival, which means it would have had a world premiere March 13th of 2015, so she was still doing the Vampire Diaries at that point. March 13th, that was the beginning of this year, she was still wrapping up the season. So she hasn't done anything since she's been gone. So do you think that this is just something that they're trying to keep under wraps? Is just have her, because they keep bringing her name up. They keep mentioning Elena, and they're doing all this stuff. And, we're flash forwarding 3 years into the future, and we're getting all this stuff, and there's still no word of her.
I don't know.
But we know that Damon was sleeping, and he's like, oh, is she awake? And Stefan's like, no. So we know that the hunter itself cannot be Elena.
Right. We know it's not Elena.
Right. But it could be Nina.
True.
Or what other female characters do we know of? We know of Lily, that you think it would potentially be Lily,
it could
Valerie,
still be Joe. They could still, maybe Alaric hasn't given up, but maybe I don't know, because that wouldn't really work with him and Caroline as an item.
No, but it does look. We know that from the last episode that Bonnie said that she made a mistake. Mm-hmm. So it's something that Bonnie did.
All right, I'll dig it.
Yeah, I don't know. But Stefan had this big plan that he was going to take Julian out this episode. He's going to do it now on the spot. He's playing the role of kind of the anti-hero this episode, and Damon's taking the role of the hero, which is very backwards. And Damon even points this out, saying that he does not like the roles being reversed in this brotherly relationship.
Don't stray into my territory.
Yeah.
Literally, that's exactly what he said.
I'm very upset he didn't mention Stefan's hero hair, but he did mention something about his hair. I don't remember the exact line, but I love one episode when he referred to the hero hair. So
yeah, but this whole thing, and this is what really bugged me about this episode. Stefan wants Julian dead. Damon wants Julian dead, but later. Yeah. After Lily has some time to have lovey-dovey and then have it snatched from her. Now, their whole heart-to-heart talk that they had after the fact, about how they both mused about being fathers and how fatherhood would be great on both of them, and they have their little truce, Damon's like, oh yeah, I'll help you kill Julian now, tomorrow, yesterday, whenever, I'll do it. And I'm like, you could have talked about this earlier and saved the whole thing instead of walking into the billiards room and just like, hey, Julian, guess what? This guy wants to kill you, and you could probably infer that I want to kill you too.
That story was great.
And I'm just sitting like this, the whole time, oh my God, you moron.
I was watching it with my aunt at the time, and we started at 12 o'clock at night, so she was fading fast. And I remember the story going, and she picked her head up, and she looked at me, and she goes, that was so stupid. And I just started cracking up, because I actually really enjoyed it. So
I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the way he told it, but it was really stupid. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I liked it. I was expecting more of a punchline from Damon,
Yeah.
I don't though. I really like how Julian handled it. Like he did the I don't know. It was very sat them down like he was their father, and was like, "Okay, boys, you're being stupid, but
Sit down or
violent.
I'll sit you down.
Yeah, but being violent about it, obviously, because he's. But it was that's kind of like that situation. And he sat them down and was like, he told them the whole story about, how much he suffered in within the stone, whatever, and how strong he blah 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 blah. But at the same time, and then he goes and throws shit at them. But it was a very, it felt like a father moment.
Yeah, it totally did. And then he comes out and, shows his ragey side, and Lily's like staring at him like, "You are not the man I remember." And it's like, no, he probably never was. He is a manipulative, psychopathic fuck, and you probably think he's this perfect, lovey-dovey pillar of the community type gentleman. I mean,
Blinded by love.
he says, he goes, Valerie, says the word Valerie. We do not mention that name in this house. Yeah, when you find out I beat her into a miscarriage, you might change your tune.
Yeah.
That needs to come out.
I think it's going to.
Because
I think that's what's going to change Lily's opinion on Stefan and and Julian and even Valerie. Because I love the scene with Valerie and Stefan at the beginning, and Caroline walking in, Valerie's in the towel. It's just like bad news bears.
Yeah, that's. Oh god, that's the only way.
For Caroline, she handled it pretty well, though.
She did. She trusts Stefan, which is really weird because we saw that glimpse into the future a couple episodes ago where the name Stefan Salvatore was dead to her, so.
He does something really dumb.
With Valerie.
He does something really dumb with Valerie, and especially the fact that Caroline is carrying twin Alaric babies.
Yeah,
that's gonna probably cause a rift.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely cause some problems.
Yeah. Weave it.
I cannot wait to see how that unfolds. That's probably the one thing that's got me the most interested is why Caroline hates Stefan so much about the future glimpses.
I agree. Now, the thing that's got me about this episode also is
more so than the hunter. I don't really care right now who the hunter is. I want to know more about why Stefan and Caroline are fighting. The hunter is kind of second, because I know the hunter is going to end up being the big bad that carries into the next season kind of, deal that they're going to do that big setup. We're going to get the reveal, and we're going to find out, and it's going to be the end of the season, and then we're going to be like, okay, we have to deal with this next season. And
yeah, I'm interested how Alaric and Caroline, I'm like, what?
I don't know. All of that will be revealed in the future. What I'm curious about is, what I want to comment on is the fact that Matt did something useful this episode.
Poison Damon?
Matt did multiple useful things this episode.
Okay.
Like, it poisoned Damon and uncovered a whole classroom full of compelled people sitting there with IVs in their arms. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
This is true.
I don't know what's going on. That's clearly Julian's doing.
Is it Julian's doing?
It's gotta be.
I don't know. That was some weird, strange thing that came out of left field. There was a lot of people there, though. That looked like that had been going on for a while, and
Not
Julian hasn't been alive.
One of them was the waiter at the party.
Yeah, I know, but look how many people were in that classroom. That was a full classroom.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be Julian. It could have been one of the the kids, one of the heretics, doing it the whole. It could be Lily for all we know.
So if I doubt it's Lily, doesn't really make too much sense to me. Out of any of the heretics that it could possibly be, the only one I could really lay down to a strong possibility would be Bo, because we don't really know much about him at all.
No, because we barely see him and he doesn't speak.
He doesn't speak, which kind of mimics them. They're not speaking,
I mean, the only thing we've really seen Bo do besides a couple of little spells is, I'm going to make the coffins disappear.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're all in like a very catatonic state, so it's really hard to pinpoint it. but we know that you can compel without words. You can. So it's possible that it's Bo. I'm still leaning more toward Julian, but I guess we'll see. I don't think it's Lily. I don't see what Lily's purpose to have. I don't know what they're pumping into their bloodstream. It's got to be Vervain. It's like it's a clear liquid
But-
in a like a saline bag almost.
Well,
Yeah,
why
yeah,
would it
it
be
could-
Vervain if it? I mean,
Vervain, wouldn't it undo the compulsion eventually?
No. 'Cause
Or
if you compel them first and then fill them with Vervain, that will not clear the compulsion. The only way to remove compulsion in that is to, I think it would be to have the vampire do it or to turn them into a vampire.
yeah, because they remember everything when it's a
Yeah.
kind of a vampire.
I don't know. I got no idea. All I know is it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really was a strange thing out of left field. Like it at this point, it didn't make any sense. It was just a random thing.
Yeah, it was that little dose of randomness that keeps you sitting there like, what the fuck was going on?
Yeah.
But then again, they really didn't need it because this whole season has got me, what the fuck is going on?
But that's what I like so much about this season is there's so much going on to keep you on your toes, and it's
I'm-
very refreshing.
Definitely more into this season than I have been in some of the previous
The
ones.
last season, the saving grace was Kai, and
Kai.
without Malachi Parker, I'm pretty sure I would have just kind of fell off on this show, because the season before that with the Travelers was just too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And to be completely honest, if it wasn't for us doing these podcasts, I probably would have stopped watching the Vampire Diaries a very long time ago. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kai, and thank you, writers of this season. You've been doing a phenomenal job to keep my attention. But as for, really what's been going on, the Damon and Stefan had that heart-to-heart, and now they're going to go kill Julian whenever they want. But the thing that kind of, it still got me in shock was, last episode with Bonnie and Enzo. And then we kind of see the seed of that start here.
Mm-hmm.
With, Bonnie, or I guess it was Enzo, was just like, oh, by the way, you're my date tonight. Just standing outside the door, And Bonnie caught on quick. She knew exactly what it was for, and it was to make Lily jealous. And they succeeded.
She definitely played along.
Because, I mean,
little.
you have Julian, who is not exactly what she's expecting. Julian even said that she's not the Lily that he fell in love with. So they're already showing you they grew apart. So I think she's really probably more into Enzo at this point.
Very likely.
And Bonnie's gonna make her jealous. And I love the comment from Bonnie. It's like, really, you got to be kidding. Like, you made sure that I'm never gonna see my best friend again, and you want us to sweep that under the rug, kind of, yeah.
Like no, sorry, not gonna happen.
Yeah. Nope.
Was there anything else that you guys wanted to cover?
No, we covered all of it as far as I know.
All the important parts.
So next week, yes, no.
Yeah.
Take a break next week, or is it the week after? No.
Week after, I think.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. So we're good. Next week, Mommy Dearest. In order to get through to Lily about Julian's manipulating ways, Stefan and Damon confront their mother with painful memories from their childhood. However, when Lily reveals a dark secret she's been harboring for over 160 years, Stefan and Damon are left questioning everything they've ever known about their family. Determined to prove himself to Lily, Enzo comes face to face with Julian and challenges him to a duel, but an unexpected twist threatens to complicate things. Elsewhere, Matt finds himself in the middle of a deepening mystery involving the residents of Mystic Falls. Gotta be the IV kids. And Caroline's world is turned upside down when Valerie reveals some life-changing news to her that she's pregnant.
Or was. At some point. So this is it's just a 1 week break. So it's next week we have the episode, and it's the week after.
Yes, for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yep. So we do not start the fall mid-season finale quite yet.
Correct.
So, all right. Well, I think that about does it. Kim, where can the people find you?
At HUFFITY,
Mike, where can the people find you?
I'm not going to do anything that cheery or upbeat. You can find me on Twitter at Thilladren, right there, THILLADREN.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon.
Do 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 do. There's your upbeat.
PHENOMEDON. Phenomenon.
Yo, you got one. Everybody gets one.
Do-do-do.
You can find us all on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast, or some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week.
Bye.
Gildarts, that was a really, really terrible pun. Lily has been deflowered. That's your worst one yet.